How's your life, everyone? Eric Leamy here. You're watching another episode of EML77 TV, episode 203. This is my fourth day of vacation, of course. I'm just, having the week off. I go back Monday. And it's been real relaxing, this vacation. A lot of chaos surrounding my vacation has been mostly the rest of my family. But, I went to the Swansea Mall this morning, and possibly for the final time. I'm not going back there because in about 10 days it will be closed down for good. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, and just realized that how much time has changed. And once the Swansea Mall closes, that will leave our Dartmouth Mall the longest running mall in the South Coast of Massachusetts. Because the Harbor Mall is gone, it's transformed to the South Coast Marketplace. Swansea Mall is next. We don't know about the Galleria. I mean, back in between the 70s and the 90s, the mall was the place to be for teenagers and young adults to hang out, buy stuff, have a good time, to work, and all that. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, that's what I thought the mall was the coolest thing ever. And going to the Dartmouth Mall for the very first time, I was so fascinated. I was like, wow. I was a little kid back then, so I was like, wow, this is cool. And then I go into a store called Zayre's, and that's where I bought my first deck of playing cards. In fact, the first two decks of playing cards are still with me because I found them on eBay and figured they provide some childhood memories for me. I'm going to keep them, no matter what. And just... sorry, folks. It's just, and just, it's amazing about how a lot of things, have, really changed. And we used to have one of the coolest toy stores ever, the Child World. And when it moved out of the mall in the late 80s, mid-late 80s, it moved into where the Anna Hope Plaza is. And I thought it was really cool. I thought Child World was like one of the coolest toy stores ever. I bought my first Nintendo there. I bought my first He-Man action figures there. I got my first He-Man action figures there, and and Ann and Hope was a cool store too. And we lost, and I just look back at what has happened to the Swansea Mall, and you figure in the back of your mind, hey, this is not what it's supposed to be anymore. It's not what it used to be anymore, and there's a lot of folks out there that refuse to accept what's been going on. There's folks out there that refuse to accept the fact that Donald Trump's the president of our country. I'm not a big fan. Listen, I'm going to admit this right now. I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, and I'm not endorsing him or anything like that. I'm not saying go Trump or yay Trump or anything like that. The guy's a little bit eccentric, and the guy's a little bit of an egomaniacal, and it feels like he, in his mind, is trying to do what's right for the country. That's what his mind, what he's going, And a lot of people don't accept it. And I don't, I believe, I personally believe he's made the country a lot more worse. Because he's tweeting, and sometimes, some people, they're thinking, oh, that's the kind of president we need, a president who's got enough guts to tell the truth. And, to me, it's so weird that this time and age is more tumultuous than ever before. And like I said, a lot of stores are closing, and you get the online shopping thing. A lot of things have happened to the point where we may end up accepting it. Whether we like it or not. And that's going to be difficult for us to know. There are things out there that we don't like and we're going to accept. And, it's not just for today. I mean, for what happened, back in the day. When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, I figured I'm going to have a good life. I'm going to have, a simple life, happy life, and just have a good time, make friends, enjoy things I want to enjoy. But it has not been easy for me. Like I said, I may have to get back into Lima Strong on my old school TPL episodes on my other channel that I use. This is my second channel, obviously. I figured I'd start over, start fresh, start new, and I just learned to accept that things are not what you want them to be. And there are many times I've been very angry about that. I've been very upset, very resentful towards that. That, oh, this happened to me. I'm not very happy about it. And it's like I refused to accept it back then. I refused to accept it back then. Like the fact of my ex-crush Paulette. All right, let's talk about that. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it and all that good stuff. Back then, I refused to accept anything that's happened between me and her. But that was happening in my mind. And I'm semi-autistic. I just found out a couple years ago, which wasn't very easy. So I thought, but I've heard about autism and I've heard about Asperger's syndrome. I never had it. I never heard about it back when I was a kid growing up, but nowadays I learned about it. I said, And when my mother and I had a discussion about this, I'm like, I realized, I was behaving the way I behaved because I was being myself and all that. So I realized maybe that's why I've been the way, that's why I've been acting the way I've been acting is because of that, but I refuse to use it as an excuse, Like my situation with my ex-crush, okay? I obsessed after this poor girl for 4.5 years. And I shouldn't have been like that. I shouldn't have. And unfortunately, I did not have respect. I did not have respect for her back then. I did not get, I was being too selfish back then. And it's my fault. It's my fault. I take the whole blame for it. Now, I'm not asking her to forgive me and all that good stuff, If I did, then I'd be continuously doing it. But there's some people out there on social media, especially on Twitter, have been bagging on me about that. I want to set the record straight about that situation, okay? One, I know she's not going to accept me in a romantic fashion anymore. That's fine. Why? Because I know she's married, a couple of kids she has. She's got her own life together. I'm cool with that. I accept that. All right? Second thing. I know she's not going to be my friend unless a miracle happens. I know we're not going to speak. We haven't spoken to each other in 24 years, and it's still going on. All I know is God's timing has to be everything. Right now, it's not God's timing. If God feels in his heart that I'm not ready to be friends with Paulette again, he lets me know. Right now, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready to be friends with her again unless God wants it and intervenes. It's up to her. It's up to me. It's mainly up to her and what she wants. I've already asked her to forgive me many, many times before. But if she doesn't want to accept it, that's just fine by me. It is what it is. And got to move on. It isn't easy. Got to let it go. Got to move on. And, I accepted that she won't be my friend again. I accepted, listen, I know, all right? And sometimes, it makes me laugh when people on Twitter, folks on Twitter that don't know me very well, think they know me, think they know what I'm thinking, but they don't know. They don't really know what's going through my mind. They think I'm trashing her. I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm simply saying I accept the things the way they are now. It doesn't mean I have to like it, but it is what it is. And when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. That's the attitude I have to go with. And I got a family. I got a family that loves me. I got a couple of parents that love me and care about me. Sisters and brothers that care about me and love me. There's some people in my family that are going through things right now. And that's the way it is. All I got to do is nothing but pray for them. And sometimes it's hard not to pry in their lives. I know. But sometimes you care about them so much. you know. And like I said, a lot, listen, once my boss from Ruby Tuesday was fired back in 2010, February 2010, it was hard for me to accept the new manager coming in, and he wanted to change everything around. Once you're used to routine and everything else, it's very, very difficult to accept. Very difficult to accept things the way they're at. To accept those changes. And it's gotten to the point where I did shed some tears during my tenure at Ruby Tuesday. And all of a sudden, I'm down to one day, and then I got to go look for another job. Like I said, going back to the Swansea Mall, and going back to that Swansea Mall story I was talking about, I ended up getting a job there. I quit April the 30th of 2010. Started May the 1st of 2010 for a cleaning company that also runs the Dartmouth Mall. But then there was an opening at the Dartmouth Mall. I ended up getting transferred there in July of 2010, and the rest is history. Now, for the first 2.5 months, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough in a way where... 2.5 months. No, not 2.5 months. For the first 2.5 years, I should say, the first 3 years, it was pretty rough because I had to deal with a coworker who thinks he can run things the way he wants it because he's trained me. Yeah, you trained me, but you're not my boss. That was the thing. The guy trained me, but he's not my boss. They told me if he acts up, you let us know. That's fine. My bosses tell me because I answer to them, not to him. Just because he trained me doesn't mean I have to answer to him every single time. You know? But then when the winter season keeps kicking in, especially 2014, I never liked sleeping over at the mall. I never liked sleeping over at work. But the mall office decided to put the kibosh on that because it cost them too much money. Good, thank you. You know? And so I really have been having, for the past 5 years, I've been having a really, really rough time trying to adjust, trying to accept this job, Like I said, if you don't like something, you make a change. Now I'm trying to do that, and it's really difficult to make a change, And the reason why, even though I hate the job, I'm still with it because it provides me money. If it had not been for that job, I would be still looking. It would be very difficult to find a new job. But what I'm trying to say, is that everything has happened in life. It's the way it is. You can't. In other words, I'll be honest with you, and I'll be honest with you right off the bat. Listen, I would go back. I would love to get a time machine, build a time machine, get a DeLorean, put some 1.21 gigawatts in, learn how to build that time machine, go back in time and fix everything in my life. But there's no such thing as a time machine. You can't change the past. It is the way it is, I wish I went back to my younger teenage self and said, see that girl Paulette over there? Don't see that girl over there. Do not engage with her in any way possible. Just leave her alone. Be yourself. Focus on you. Focus on you. And that's what I did. That's why I should have done, I should say. That's why I should have done. Is focus on myself. Worry about what I have to do. What my priorities are. I did not keep my priorities straight back then when I was a teenager. And there's a lot of things, you had to explore as a teenager. Not that easy. Even when you're semi-autistic, not that easy. But, I was obsessed with wrestling, baseball, video games, And it got to the point where my mother was upset with me coming from a trip to Mount Monadnock. She told me that every woman in my church was complaining about me. Talking about all those things. And I feel like saying, who are they to, I feel like in the back of my mind, who are they to tell me what to like and what to not like, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to rebel. I was being a little bit of a rebellious kid back in the day, because I think people are trying to hold me down, and I want to be myself, and I want to be myself. I want to have a good time, and just, be have fun and enjoy life as a kid, and there's people over there trying to destroy your personality, destroy you. It's like, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's like, can I just have some fun for once? You know, I'm not a criminal. I don't feel like being a criminal and doing something stupid and go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's some things back then I'm not proud of that I've done that I'm not proud of. And just, it just irks me that people, want to destroy my personality, and I'm going to say no. No, if you want me to do what you want me to do, here's an idea: back off. Back off. I don't want to hear it. If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Personally, and because I'm personally, I don't care if you're on social media. I don't care who you are. If you're my family, I love you, but I gotta be me. I gotta be me. I gotta be who I am. Listen, I'm going to be respectful towards people. I need to be, sure. Yeah, there's some things, sometimes I need to be very, very careful what I say and what I do, especially on social media. But, sometimes there's people that are easily offended by the littlest things that people say. Like, oh my God, you said that, I'm offended. It's like, people want to be snowflakes nowadays. It's like, come on, is this one little thing that bothers you? And they overanalyze a lot of things, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Talk about there's bullying back then. Rudolph was being bullied because he had a red nose. It's like we need to take this, or Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. Where Franklin was sitting on one side in a little chair while all the other kids sitting on the other side of the chair. And I'm looking at them going, you want to take these shows down because they've been a holiday tradition for years? The problem is that back in the day, we in the 80s and 90s know how to deal with that stuff. All right, we knew how to deal with it. The problem is this new generation nowadays does not. And people make fun of me. I live in my parents' basement. I'm 42 years old. Listen, being semi-autistic at 42 is not fun. All right. Now, that can be socially embarrassing for me to say, oh, I live in my parents' basement. I'm 42 years old. To you people out there, to you haters out there, to you bullies and all that, to all you cynics out there, that's socially embarrassing. Listen, I'm not going to get myself a girlfriend because I'm not going to worry about that. All right? Plain, it's not because of what happened between me and my ex-crush. I've realized now that nowadays, it could be more complicated if you get into a relationship. So I figured I'm going to relax, be single, have fun, and just be me, like stuff, like people, be friendly, be respectful, and be the man that God wants me to be. I'm learning to accept things where they're at now. But there's, even though I learned to accept them, that doesn't mean I have to like them. There's a lot of things I don't like nowadays. People want to be, they want to hold you down. They want to, berate you. They want to make fun of you. They want, listen. Here's the problem to those who have been making fun of me on Twitter, been lambasting me and all that good stuff. I've already known what's happened in my life. You don't have to repeat it to me. I know what's been going on in my life. I know where I'm at. I know. But why are you repeating the same things to me every single time? It's like you don't think I get it. I get it. Listen, it's not the most glamorous life in the world. I know. It's not like I'm going to die anytime soon. I'm not going to say, oh, I hate my life. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to commit suicide because my life stinks. Life is what you make of it. If life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. For goodness sakes, people, make some lemonade out of your lives. That's what I'm trying to do. Make lemonade out of my life. May not be the best glamorous life. I may not have the biggest best house in New Bedford or anywhere I move to or something like that. I may not have a girlfriend at my side. I may not have the best car. I may not have the best everything. But I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm here. And if anybody's got a problem with that, then there's something wrong with you. Simple science, ladies and gentlemen. Simple science is this. I like my life for what it is. I accept my life for what it is. Yes, I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ when I was a little bitty kid at the age of 7 or 8 years old. If it had not been for the Lord himself, I would not be alive today to talk to all of you great people about what God has done for me. I am thankful. If it had not been for the Lord, my father wouldn't have met a beautiful woman to be his wife back in 1988. Talk about 31 years of marriage and have all these great and wonderful kids that I call family. I wouldn't have any of this. I wouldn't be able to move in this great house. I wouldn't have all the stuff that I have. If it had not been for God, I would not be alive today. Okay? My biological parents did drugs. And it cost them their marriage. Okay? That's why I never took drugs. That's why I never drank alcohol or never smoked a day in my life. All right? You know, I'm thankful for all the things that's happened to me, all the good things that have happened to me, but I'm also thankful for all the things that are not good that have happened to me because they've helped me learn something. They've helped me learn things over the years of my life. My biological mother passed away in 2012. Yes, I'm sad that she's gone. But I'm thankful that I got a stepmother who is stepping up to be the inspirational person in my life. My mother, my stepmom, good woman, and I call her mom out of respect for her. To set the example for my younger sister at that time. Once she got married to my father back in 1988, I didn't call my stepmom Cheryl anymore. I call her mom. To set the example because she has a 2-year-old sister. 2-year-olds copy everything adults or older people do. So I have to bear that in mind. That's why I did that. But I never stopped calling her mom. My biological mother, Bonnie J. Parker. Yes, she may have passed on. She's with her husband now up in heaven. But my biological father's here on this earth still. And he's my biological father. And I'm really proud. Alright? My mother remarried. My biological mother remarried years later after my dad remarried. Both of my biological parents remarried. They moved on with their lives to make sure I have a good life. My life got a lot of bumpy roads. Like I said, the biggest life-altering year was 1995, moving here to the north end of Bedford from a place that I've been familiar with, 7 blocks away from Butwood Park, man. Life isn't easy. What people do not get is how am I living this life still and be content with it. How? Because I have somebody looking out for me. I have made friends over these great, wonderful 24 years. The last 24 years, I made a lot of new friends in my life. Friends that taught me a lot. And I've lost a few friends on the way. It wasn't easy letting go of those friends. Hoping one day that we get able to talk to each other and say, hey, it's been a long time. You know, like I said, among most friends, my ex-crush, Paulette. I've lost her as a friend because of my actions back then. And you know what? Until the day that God decides to intervene and says, you need to patch things up, you need to be friends or something like that, I'm going to leave her alone and go on my merry way. There are a lot of things that have happened in my lives. Yes, 24 years has been a long time. But you know what? God's timing is everything to me. They say timing is everything. God's timing. It'll be on God's time that things can happen, that miracles can happen, good things can happen. And you know what? I'm very thankful for my life. Despite all that has been going on in my life, despite me getting trolled on Twitter, here on YouTube, or anywhere in social media, I'm thankful for my life, and I will stand strong. I will stand my ground, and I will not move an inch. You want me to be miserable? Son, you got to work hard to do that. I'm like a safe. I'm hard to crack, you know? There are people out there that disrespected me over the years, especially the last couple of years on YouTube. Between 2016, 2017, those 2 years, I had been trolled on YouTube more times than anything else. And then I get trolled on Twitter too. So I figured, hey, instead of responding to these trolls and haters and bullies over those 2 years had made things worse, I just simply block, leave me alone, just block. That's the best way of saying, I don't want any part of this. Talk to the hand. Alright? Or talk to the fist because the face don't exist. Or talk to the fist because the hand don't exist. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm happy with my life the way it is right now. It may not be the most glamorous life, at least it keeps me alive. Only a matter of time when things will change. And when things will change, I have to learn how to adapt to it or accept it. A lot of things have changed in my life, and I had to adapt to it. It wasn't easy, but I did. But I adapted to it, and it paid off in the end. But there's the old saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You can easily get back into your own routine again. Bottom line is this. This is the bottom line. This is what I'm going to try to tell you. Things is what it is. You have to accept things for where they're at, whether you like it or not. It isn't easy. There's a lot of things I don't, like I said, there's a lot of things in my life I didn't like. But you know what? As long as I'm alive, as long as I'm here, I just learn how to adapt to it. If there's things you want to make change, make it change. If life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. Mistakes are going to happen too. Trust me, I made a lot of them. But I'm very, very thankful for the life I have today and I want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for that life. I like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for all the friends I've made, not only here on YouTube, but on Facebook, on Twitter, Discord, from folks from MVG Productions to Rodney1279 Productions. I'm thankful for my family, my Ruby Tuesday friends, my church friends. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for everybody. And I love all my friends and family. And that's the way my attitude is going to be. It's going to be a positivity, happiness, and just go with it. I'm just going to go with it. It makes me smile. Now I buy stuff on Amazon and eBay. It comes in, I get excited. Yay! When it comes to video games, DVDs, T-shirts, books, a lot of things have changed. For the past 3 years, a lot of things have been happening. And I'm very, very happy about it. There's some things that I don't like, that I want to change, and I'm planning on making those changes pretty soon. Sometimes you look back at some of the stuff you do and go, okay, this is getting monotonous. I got to make a change. Change the scenery will be nice. Who knows? But right now, I gotta go with the flow. Not go through the motions, but just keep on trucking, keep on swimming. Keep on rowing, keep it on. But if you want But if there's a, I think when my mother had a dream about the boat, and she was rowing the boat, and water flow or something like that, I get that, if sometimes if the water stops or there's no water, could be just find another place to row your boat. You won't keep scratching yourself and all that. But I don't know. I'm just very blessed and very thankful for all that I have, and I'm going to continue doing this YouTube show for as long as I can, until the Lord Himself says, "Son, time to come home." But for right now, I'm enjoying my time doing this. I want to keep on doing it because I like it. So, God's blessings to all of you. All right, that's all the time we have on this show. And like I said, again, God's blessings to all of you catching the flip side and paying attention. You just might learn something. EML77 TV 203. Accepting things is what I'm going to call it. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day. So long.